We are conditioned to associate deep mental effort with aggressive physical action, the tight jaw, the furrowed brow, and the audible grunt of exertion. But this relies on a flawed assumption. True psychological power rarely broadcasts itself. Instead, it operates on a hidden internal economy, doing its heaviest lifting exactly when the physical body powers down. This operates on a principle of inverse causality. When we deliberately reduce our external physical and sensory output, we multiply our internal cognitive processing capacity. Human optimization is less about applying more physical force and more about understanding precisely which biological systems to deliberately shut off so the mind can take over. So, what actually happens to our brains when we suppress our basic bodily instincts and vocal expressions? Evidence of this inverse behavior is visible across the internet. Looking at this list of dark psychology trivia, the bold red text warns us of strange information. These seemingly random points provide the foundation for a unified theory of human vulnerability and mental focus. We see this physical paradox first in the jaw. As noted here, people who open their mouths while listening to something are more focused. Analytically, the mechanics here are strictly biological. A slack, open mouth reduces cranial nerve load. The body stops expending energy to maintain muscle tension in the jaw and redirects that processing power straight to the auditory cortex. But there is a dangerous counterpoint to this voluntary restriction. Further down, the text warns not to walk with numb legs because they might break without you knowing. Numbness severs the real-time physical feedback loop to the brain. Without the nervous system screaming at you to adjust your weight, your body can apply lethal force to its own skeletal structure, pulverizing bone just by taking a step. Sensory feedback is a zero-sum game. Mastering its restriction grants immense focus, but involuntarily losing it invites self-destruction. This rule of restriction applies directly to how we navigate our own memory. Returning to our list, Point 5 tells us that closing your eyes when you try to remember something will help you a lot. The act of recalling a memory requires massive processing power. By closing your eyes, you are deliberately blinding yourself. This halts all live visual processing, preventing real-time stimuli from competing with the archived information you're trying to pull up. Temporary self-inflicted blindness serves as a calculated defense mechanism against distraction. We naturally extend this restriction to our environment and the media we consume. This brings us to point 3, which claims that people who watch cartoons and anime are the most creative people in imagination. When you watch live-action video, you are absorbing a reality governed by strict physical laws. Your brain remains anchored to gravity, mass, and human limitations. Engaging with physics-defying animation deliberately breaks that baseline. By removing the rules of the real world from the screen, the subconscious is free to explore concepts without structural boundaries. Watching animation provides the brain with a temporary reprieve from physical logic, allowing the subconscious to explore more flexible creative concepts. But the most potent manifestation of inverse causality isn't physical or visual. It happens in the presence of other people. Silence in a social setting functions as a tactical withholding of energy. It creates an immediate advantage for the observer. Looking at point 4, we find a stark warning. A silent person can destroy your heart with one word if you disturb him. While the active talker exposes their insecurities, the silent observer quietly catalogs them, preparing a precisely calculated verbal strike. In the hierarchy of social dynamics, the ultimate emotional leverage belongs to the person who restricts their output the most. Human psychology operates on a strict, unseen economy. Every output demands a trade-off. Trading sight to access a memory, dropping muscular tension to build focus, withholding speech to gain social power. These are highly optimized survival tactics designed to preserve our internal energy. Digital information operates on those same ephemeral rules. The final point on the page reminds us that if you aren't following, you will probably never meet us again. Subscribing ensures this specific connection remains intact, rather than letting the digital landscape sweep it away.